Good morning and welcome to another episode of Israel Unleashed. And yeah, we're about to unleash some shit on you today, for real. And I was here making a video 2 days ago, and there wasn't no prediction or this or that. It was actually a writing was on the wall that Taliban was going to take over Afghanistan and pretty much do everything that they said they were going to do and embarrass the shit out of America. And we can honestly say that terrorism has actually won something, man, for a change after all these years of terrorism pretty much chipping away at society and civilization for all these decades and the last century and stuff like that. We can actually say terrorism has actually won. Terrorism won. Basic society zero, man. I mean, it doesn't get any more crazier than that. It's basically made the Middle East completely unsafe, and many countries are on alert. And I don't know, it makes it's acceptable for another war to take place, pretty much because terrorism knows they've won. And when it comes to the Middle East, who else do they hate other than America? They hate Israel. And if you hate Israel, this is who you're coming after next. And once you've emboldened all sorts of terrorism, because Taliban isn't the only terrorist group in the Middle East, there's actually hundreds of them, but they're actually one of the richest, and Al-Qaeda is one of the richest, and also Hezbollah is one of the richest too, man, because, all of them deal with drugs, like the cartel in Mexico, and drugs, we know everyone likes to get high, and you make lots of good money off of drugs, so they make billions a year. They don't need billions a year. They don't need to make, they don't need people to give them money, even though they ask people to give them money. And the flies out here are crazy today. But I mean, what I'm seeing, because I don't see the American news whatsoever, kind of showing what's unfolding in Afghanistan, and it's like the sight is just, it's atrocious. It's disgusting, I mean, honestly. And the way people in America are actually talking about it, like they give two fucks less, is also astonishing, and also sickening. I mean, last couple of years we've heard nothing about Black Lives Matter and the gay community and BDS and all this stuff, talking about how, genocide and apartheid and all this crap, and we're doing this in Israel, and the Middle East things are going on in the Middle East, and here they can care less. This one terrorist group just overrun a country, which they did in the beginning. I mean, it's not like they I don't know, it's like they were sitting on the side for 20 years and then they just kind of came back or something, but it's like nothing changed. I watched on the news this morning how America dumped $100 billion, if not more than, obviously more than that, I mean, into this whole situation in Afghanistan, and it's like, it's basically completely unfolded, literally, like Vietnam did, man. And I even heard Joe Biden get up and say something this morning, and he's repeated the fucking words of Nixon, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? He literally said what Nixon said 50 years ago, word for word. And I don't think a lot of people realize the repercussions of this whole situation and what's going on, and they think it's it's a done deal and it's over with, and we're not going to hear. I mean, this isn't ended. This is far from over. I mean, in the meantime, the Taliban's on the news telling people we're having a peaceful transfer and we're doing this, we're doing that, but the opposite news channels are saying something and showing something completely different. They're going from door to door, killing people, raping women and kids, and killing their husbands and marrying them, grabbing people for sex slavery and all this kind of shit. And nothing's changed. I mean, these people aren't. I mean, evil has literally won. And the fact that the Americans have let this happen, and it's been a domino effect, and you're watching New Zealand, Germany, France, the UK, and America run for their lives, and all the people who they wanted them to save are clinging to their planes as they're taking off and flying off the planes and dropping dead is I mean, it's something else, man. I mean, it's like something you've never seen, man, and it's nuts. And I ain't got no words for it. I mean, honestly, it's like Vietnam all over again. I don't like to even repeat. I never really liked compare the two ever and stuff like that, but the greed, the corruption, the way the stuff was run, the things that our leaders are telling us and stuff like that, and it's just repeated itself over and over, and it's literally the exact same thing. Like, what did we get into this shit for? I mean, the Russians couldn't do it. Anybody else who couldn't do it, why the fuck did we even go there in the first place? I mean, you could have just sat there and bombed them all day with planes and stuff. You didn't have to send anybody there. You know what I mean? All these dudes were hiding in the mountains. All you had to do was blow up mountain ranges and stuff, and basically they got bunker busters and all this kind of shit. You could have fucking killed whoever and moved on in life, but you had to send thousands upon thousands of troops there. 250,000 troops, or if not 500,000 or whatever, and achieve nothing, and basically run out of there. And we're seeing the results of that whole complete clusterfuck today, man. And on top of it, the public in America isn't showing what's going on, and people who are like such hypocrites are absolving themselves like, it's not our fault, and we have nothing to do. Really, it's your fault. Everything that goes on in this world that you involved in is your fucking fault if you fucked it up. And the fact that they want to absolve themselves and stuff like that, and you want to talk about, you ain't gonna hear people talk about how the genocide's going on when these people are going door to door shooting people and taking over and killing the people who they basically overrun. You know what I mean? I mean, the hypocrisy coming out of people from the left and the right in America is just something, man, and I ain't even got no words for it. I find it disgusting. You know what I mean? I'm more embarrassed today to be an American because of this, because America's not what I left. We actually had pride for things, and we actually stood for good for once, and now we're actually seeing society crumble because of these fucking people. Nothing good's coming out of it. And the stuff that they want to accuse people of in the world and stuff like that, and then they turn around and do this shit, is also astonishing and completely disgusting, you know what I mean? And the fact that, like, we needed to get out of it, whatever, man. Really. Take have the courage to stand up and take responsibility for what you've done. Yeah, none of us wanted our government to be a police force for the world, but, this is what a superpower did. This is what it took to control the world. But, I didn't realize that we were really that much of a superpower until I left America and realized that our army was a force to be reckoned with until recently. Now I don't even know what to call our army, man, honestly. But the fact that this is going on is heartening and stuff like that. And this just opens the door for other wars. I mean, before I even started videoing, you missed the planes that were going up above us and all headed towards Lebanon and stuff like that because of the situation with Hezbollah. And yesterday we had rockets fall in the south from the Palestinians and stuff. And, it's just a step in the next direction for what's coming next. It's not a prediction, it's not a prophecy, it's the writing on the wall, man. I mean, literally, it doesn't take some person who's brilliant to figure this shit out, man. I mean, honestly, the writing's on the wall. If you can't read it, then you're blind, or you just choose not to pay attention. But I mean, we've made the world an unsafer place. I mean, obviously Americans didn't realize when they got involved with Afghanistan and Iraq and stuff like that, and all the damage they've done and the people they've killed, that these people want revenge from you. And if you leave their doorstep, they're coming back to your doorstep. I mean, if people didn't understand the Israeli-Palestinian conflict for the last 100 years, they're going to understand the conflict that's coming to your doorstep next, because these people don't give up, man. They realize they've beaten you, yes, but then they're coming towards you to continue their jihad battle, as they say, because they think your way of life is garbage. And you don't seem to realize that, and it's pretty disturbing. You don't seem to realize that because you don't honestly understand what's going on in the Middle East. All the wars, the conflicts, and the battles that are going on in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia are all been in Arab countries, and the fact that you don't see that, and that you don't see the fact that Iran's watching this, and Hezbollah's watching this, and other people who hate America are watching this, they're standing by and taking notes. And if you're not paying attention to this, you don't realize what's this big story of the big picture is, because you don't realize how many fucking people hate you. And they want you dead, and they think your way of life is threatening to theirs, and they're not going to stop. And if you think it's over and ended already, then you're you're dead wrong, man. Seriously. The fact that people can be so ignorant to what's going on and not really pay attention to what's the big story and what's the big picture it's mind blowing. And the fact that people are standing over there and like on social media and saying whatever the fuck they want and they stand by the words of how we're like this and they're like, I mean, what about you? I mean, obviously you're standing over, you're saying stuff and you don't realize that you're just as guilty as everybody else. You're not perfect. You're acting like you're perfect. And you want to absolve yourself from the situation and stuff like that. And like, you've done nothing wrong. But in reality, you've done everything wrong. Your words show you now more than ever how much of a hypocrite you are. And how you shouldn't comment on situations that aren't involving with you. And how you shouldn't get involved in situations that have nothing to do with you. But now you want to, you want to sit back and say whatever you want to say because it affects you. Or you have the people in your ear telling you what you should know and what you should believe, and even that's not the truth. And we've already seen that's the case here because what's unfolded here has just pretty much exposed all of that. You know what I mean? And honestly, it's made me angry. Sitting here listening to people talk about us and how Israel's so bad and what we're doing. We're trying to survive with the exact same group of fucking people. Problem is we have nowhere to run to. And we ain't leaving anyway. You know what I'm saying? And we have to keep this at bay. This is a constant war that keeps going on, and it's been going on since pre-state, and it's been going on for the last, they say 80 years, but it's been going on even before the state. So it's been going on since pretty much the mandate time, which is literally 100 years ago. And, it's a constant war that will never end. This is a war that will never find peace because, if you don't understand Islam, you don't understand the way of what their book says, you know what I'm saying? They are supposed to jihad till the end of their, and once they've conquered something, they've lost it. Their job is totally to reconquer it again because it's Muslim land. And I mentioned that in the last video and stuff like that, but people don't seem to get that kind of stuff, People don't understand Islam, man, and it took me, I read the Quran and stuff like that, so I understood it to a point, but once I came here, I got to meet people, I got to talk to people, and I got to meet, I know a lot of people who are Arab and stuff like that and tell me their feelings and what they want, their agenda and stuff, and they all say the same thing, man. They want you to be destroyed. They're not afraid to say to your face what they want from you and how they want to, and what they want to do to you. They tell you honestly how they feel. You know what I mean? And if it's them telling you to your face that they want to kill you and wipe out your fucking family, that's exactly what they're going to say because that's exactly how they say it. And a lot of people should be taking notes on this kind of stuff because there's no such thing as peace in the world. We don't know it yet. We never have. It might have been 250 years in all of history where we had somewhat peace, where there was no wars going on and stuff like that and whatever, but that's not peace. We have no idea what peace really is or what it actually looks like or what it stands for or anything. We don't know anything of this. We've never in human history have ever had this. All we know is conflict and how to overrun each other and conquest and battle one another and hate one another. This is pretty much the same thing repeatedly over and over since the dawn of time until now. One group conquers the next and the next and the next and then, obviously, you've seen before even America was born that fucking one group conquered the next and whatever, and then people ran away to America and set up the colonies and made America, and they wanted to bring freedom and religious rights and all this kind of shit. It's pretty much over today because, you got people who think that, you should get rid of that stuff because there's no point in it, but that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard too. That's something you should hold on to and fight for to the death. Because once it's gone, it ain't coming back, and it just basically, it disturbs what the country was built on. You know what I mean? What it stands for, it doesn't stand for that anymore, and it's sad. You know what I mean? That people don't want to look at that like that anymore, and it's actually painful. You know what I'm saying? Because having rights and freedoms and being able to be free to a point is everything. We have so many people worldwide that wish they had that. That's why they're coming to America all these times in droves, in the millions. because they don't have that. They never did, and they never will because of the people who are in charge of them. You have dictators and tyrants and all sorts of people who run them to the ground and murder their family. Even if they go against them, they murder them. You know what I'm saying? Do we need that in America? No, we don't. The fact that we've given up and the corporation and the president has pretty much kind of said, I don't really give a fuck, and kind of done what he, he's done what he's done, and he's kind of like, doesn't give two shits about it, and they don't really want to show this on the news in America, the reality of what's really going on the ground, and the domino effect, if not the ripple effect that's taking place in this situation, is it's kind of disheartening, you know what I mean? I mean, this is the reality of America today, you know what I mean? Honestly, being an American, that hurts. The fact that, that this is what it's come to, and this is how we think, Who gives a fuck about people in the world? They're human just like you. If it doesn't affect you, it's not my problem anymore. I mean, really? I mean, we're all one, and the hard lesson is we're going to learn is how we are all one day, and how we're all connected. And the fact that people are saying like, yeah, well, we should never went there, and it's good that we got out of there, or whatever. And yeah, eventually you needed to get out of there anyway, but whatever. I mean, you still got bases in South Korea, that's an ongoing war that never stopped. You got bases in Japan, all through Africa and stuff like that. I mean, there's no difference in holding on to these places than holding on in Afghanistan, But all wars need to come to an end, but new wars start right after that, so that's what we're looking to, you know what I mean? This is the reality on the ground and stuff like that. I mean, what the future's going to bring, and where we're going to be, and how we're going to be, and what's going to take shape. I mean, it's yet to be foretold or opened up. But we, the writing's on the wall. We already know what direction we're going and what it's going to look like when we get there. And if you don't, then you're not really paying attention to what's really going on, and that's scary, man. Because I understand sometimes people don't want to sit and talk about politics, because I don't want to sit and talk about politics, because politics is an ugly game, and you see how it's kind of divided people. And, it's divided people so much that really the people who used to be able to work with each other, even though they had a difference of opinion, they're not even close and the same opinion anymore, and they can't even work with each other anymore, and it just shows where society as a whole is going and where we stand even today, and it's not a pretty fucking thing, and it's honestly mind-blowing, you know what I mean? I'm growing up, you almost wish that the government and people used to listen to us as young children and hear what we have to say. Our voice was drowned then. Nowadays, people listen to these voices and they have power, and they can say whatever they want, but these people are hypocrites. They don't serve any good purpose. They don't understand anything. They want whatever they want, and that's it. They don't realize that they're not alone, man. There's other people, man. There's other people fighting for the same thing you're fighting for. You know what I mean? Other people want rights. Other people want freedoms and stuff like that. And it's a worldwide thing. And if you look up any country and history and what's going on and stuff like that, you realize that these people don't have what you have. Another reason why I say that you should hold on to these things and stuff like that. America used to be a solution and an answer to a lot of things, and it's not anymore. I don't know. You're seeing double the people even remotely go from many countries south of the border, or Europe, or Afghanistan in the meantime, or even China, because of what's going on in China. They're all running to America because they know they can have freedom there. But the problem is that the people who are in charge, who are pleasing the people who don't want freedoms and stuff like that, are taking their abuses and their rhetoric out on the people who want freedom, or the actual people who live there and who want freedom, and because they have a religious view, or if they don't have a religious view and stuff like that. Or you have people who just remain quiet and stuff like that. I mean, I'm at a loss for words for this. I mean, I have been in America in years, but I mean, I don't even know if I went back today. I wouldn't. I know for a fact I wouldn't be happy with what's going on, what I'd see in my face right in front of me. But living out in the world, I'm going to have to deal with basically the people who generate those rights and those freedoms. You know what I'm saying? It's important for us as a democracy here in Israel to hold on to that, even if it kills us. We're the only country in the whole Middle East. We're the only country here compared to like Europe that has democracy. Africa, you barely have it. Asia, you definitely don't have it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the people around us in Lebanon and Syria and like Jordan. I mean, these are leaders. These are leaders for life. Some of them are dictators. As you've seen in Syria, they had no problem killing their fucking people. You see people starving and they have nothing in Lebanon, and you see terrorists who are in charge, just like they are in Afghanistan now. They can give two shits less about the people and what their needs are and what they want. You know what I'm saying? And they're ready to take those people to war with us, so we kill them all. You know what I'm saying? But this is a reality. You know what I'm saying? You can never let terror or evil win. The fact that it's won already, and it's not only is it won, it's taken over a country. And after they situate everything and they move out of that situation and branch out to they came to your doorstep once and blew up the twins. What do you think they're going to do next? They have no problem hurting you. They don't like you. They hate you. They'll do whatever it takes to destroy you. You bow down to them, man. And you've already done it in one country. You're going to sit and do it in America? You really want Islam to run the world? Even as you're not paying attention to what's going on in the Middle East, it's a civil war in many countries. You have moderate people fighting fanatics. And it's been going on for the last 20 years, pretty much, almost. A little less than 20 years, but it's been going on. And it pretty much all started with Barack Obama, thanks to Obama, and pretty much the government's in power now. They wanted to basically overrun countries and stuff like that and let them fall, which they did, and you see what happened. You see the power vacuum that took place. Terrorists took over. People who don't have good intentions took over. People who want to strangle their society and their people with complete iron fist have taken over. The fact that a lot of people aren't paying attention to this kind of shit is just, it's like mind-boggling, you know what I mean? I have no words for it. I think it's a sad day. Watch what's unfolding in Afghanistan and the area around it, and people running for their lives because they know what's going to happen next. If they're not going to get mowed down by a group of fucking people, somebody else is going to kill them, man. And even the people who helped the Americans while they were there, they're going to die, man. And the fact that no one cares, it's a sad thing. And the fact that people don't care it's like, it should encourage people to wake up. You're letting hate take over. You're letting fanatic people take over. It's you're letting this take down the building blocks of society because this is what they believe in their religion and stuff like that. Every religion has fanatical people to it and stuff like that, but not like these people. These people, they are set in their ways. This is what they know. This is what they want. I mean, even after, say they take over everybody, they're going to fight amongst themselves like they're doing now in a complete civil war. There will be nobody left other than a handful of people to rebuild what's left, what was been destroyed. And this is the direction society is going. And, this is the direction that society has been going for a long time. I mean, you got people for centuries have kind of warned you for this situation, and you didn't take note, you didn't listen. And the fact that you're still not listening is like, what will be, will be. Yeah. We're going to learn the hard way, that's for sure. The fact that people don't want to pay attention and people don't care and they're too involved in their own lives. That's what they said when the Nazis came around, man, and look what happened. That engulfed people like a black plague. And it forced the world to fight against evil, and we destroyed it once. Now you're letting it win again. History repeats itself. It might have different players and different people, but history always repeats itself. We make the same mistake over and over and over again. And we've done it for thousands of years. You think by now we've learned, but we're still young and immature and stupid. We think we know it all, but honestly we know nothing. And that the fact of that of the matter is, like, you should wake up, smell the coffee, and understand. You should educate yourself some more and really take on the situation. You might not want to fight, but eventually you're going to have to fight. Life is about fighting. It's about survival, man. And nothing is made easy for you. No matter where you live, what you have to go through. To hear people sit and cry about stuff and want people, and they scream until you give it to them, shut them up. It just shows how ridiculous our society has become because of this. You know what I'm saying? But people need safe spaces and stuff like that just to feel safe. I mean, really? I ain't even got no words for that either, but I'm just lumping everything all together and all the issues and the way things are going and from what I see and stuff like that. And I see it crumbling, man, right in front of me and stuff like that. And yeah, I have children, so I mean, I'm not scared of it. It just makes me think about what are my children going to have? I'm only going to be here so long, you know what I'm saying? As my wife's going to be here so long, and as my parents are going to be here. You know what I mean? My grandparents, when I was sitting as a child, convinced me. I didn't convince me, but they told me stories of their past and their life as people at my age, if not a little younger, and the horrors of the world and what I should be aware of and what I should embrace, what I shouldn't embrace and stuff like that. And I'm sharing the exact same things with my kids. You know what I'm saying? I share their stories with them and I share my stories and stuff like that, but I want my children to be nothing part of this situation that's going on. I don't want my children running for their life or feeling that they're going to have to die or they have no freedom. I think this is important. It's important to know that, you know, you're free and you have rights and you have abilities and you can do and say things and feel free to do whatever you want. But when that's under threat, you should be very worried. Just because it's happening over here doesn't mean it's not going to happen over there eventually. You know, I mean, as if you throw a rock inside of water, you see a ripple effect. It gets to where you're going, man, and where you're going to be. So you shouldn't write it off yet, like, yeah, this is the end, man, because it's not the end. And what we're looking forward to next, God only knows. But I mean, honestly, the writing's on the wall. If you can't put the picture together or you see it, then, you know, you should wake up and be more educating towards yourself to be unblinded by this and prepare yourself for what's to come. You know, I pray for you all. I give you love. I send you love. I care for you. I love you. You know what I'm saying? I love you like you're my own family. You know, we're all products after the great flood of Noah. You know what I'm saying? We're all family. We're all one. Doesn't matter what color, religion, or whatever you are. But people need to understand what we need to live and how we need to live and what kind of freedoms we need to have. And the whole world deserves this. And we need to wipe out the people who don't want this, who are against this and stuff like that because they're evil. And sitting in wherever they're sitting and saying that, you know, you need to live like this because Muhammad said this or Allah said this is pure bullshit, man. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't need to, you know, you have a right, you have free will, and you have choice to choose and pick and be and who you want to be, how you want to be, and how you want to live, and that's your God-given right. If someone says differently, they're evil. You should stop them in their tracks, either correct them, and then, God forbid, kill them, but destroy them. I don't believe in death and stuff like that, and I'm not a pacifist and stuff. There's a time to get up and fight, and there's a time to do things, man. And if not now, now is more than ever the time. Time is too short to waste. And if people who have bad ideas, who want to overrun you and put you in the ground and destroy you, we don't need governments like that. We don't need citizens like that. You need to stop them in their tracks. You need to get up and you need to rise up. Because don't let them get any closer. Because once they get closer, they're going to overrun you, man, and you're going to live the life that they want you to live, or they're going to execute you. Because, as you see in Afghanistan, they're going from door to door killing people. The people that worked with the Americans, they're killing them. I just seen the last couple of weeks they're killing pilots, so they don't have an Air Force come over and bomb them. And they can stop them. And these people are a lot smarter. These people are peasants, but they're obviously a lot smarter than you think they are. And you shouldn't take that for granted. And the people who are also giving them money, you should be worried about them, you know. Like, Russia, Pakistan, Iran, and stuff like that. They've been wanting to see you defeated for a long time, and they've actually achieved that goal. It's like we achieved the goal in the Cold War by bringing down Russia and stuff like that, and or the Soviet Union at the time and whatever. But we achieved that goal. They achieved the same goal. Life is going to change from here on out, man. You should be prepared. You should prepare yourself. You should bring yourself closer to God, and you should pray, and you should pray for the people who are having to deal with what they have to deal with, what you see on the TV and stuff like that. There's too much sadness and too much hate and too much death and murder and all this kind of stuff going on all over the world. And you should open your eyes and pray for these people and care for them, man, because you know they're your brothers and sisters, like I am. And you know, I pray for you and I wish you the best of luck. And you know, hopefully from this situation here on out it gets better. But obviously, and we don't do nothing. It's not. You can't sit back and be blind like it's not. So open your eyes and pray, and I pray for the best. I hope you do. And hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Much love to all of you. And be well.